Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, Robin Blank Mascari here from Playa del Carmen. Carmen, is that where yes. Greeting you this evening, and very excited about our call where we do an introduction to LifeWave, and the star of the show is our patch called X39. And then we'll do a little history of the company and a little bit about the founder. And then we get to bring on our special guest, Dr. Walt Young, who'll be with us and talk about his perspective of these patches. Then we open things up to you, and it's your turn. If you have questions, if you have stories you want to share, we love hearing your stories. It's so inspiring. And we start out the program with my partner, who's going to give you a little introduction of LifeWave and X39. Over to you, darling.
Well, that's awesome. Good evening, everyone, and hello from Mexico. Yeah, we flew all day. We're on a plane at 7 a.m. this morning, and here we are with Kai and Lynette in Playa del Carmen, building the business, the white sandy beaches of Playa del Carmen. Well, we're not on the beach right now. We're in a condo. Actually, we're in a penthouse suite, so it's really, really very lovely. But we're here tonight to talk to you about LifeWave X39 and the science behind these amazing products. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to kind of tee it up for everyone. And it's interesting that I finally realized what I want to be when I get older, and maybe many of you can relate to this, younger. I'm going to be celebrating the 30th anniversary of my 39th birthday in a couple of months, and I just want to keep turning back the clock. And so welcome to the stem cell revolution, because that's really what it's about. And certainly everyone wants to look, feel, perform, heal, and live younger. And stem cells are the key. They're a vital part of our immune system that repair and regenerate damaged cells. Now, the problem is, the older get, the fewer stem cells we have and the less active they are. And sadly, by the age 60, only a small percentage of our stem cells are still functioning. So the fewer stem cells we have, the faster we age and the slower we heal. And certainly a lot of people say, well, what about stem cell injections? They're getting quite popular, but they're also quite expensive, painful, risky, controversial. And you know what? There's no guaranteed results. So we've got good news for you, and we're going to share this with you here tonight, that you can look, feel, perform, heal, and live younger with this historic breakthrough in stem cell technology. It's a wearable technology in patch form. It's affordable, it's safe, it's non-invasive, it's non-drug. It's a patented form of phototherapy, and it uses specific frequencies of light to increase and improve our stem cell activity. And this is really the brainchild of our visionary founder and CEO, David Schmidt. David is not only a brilliant scientist and researcher, he's a genius inventor with over 100 patents and patent pendings, and he's been on the leading edge of phototherapy research and science for over 20 years. He's already conducted over 100, I need to update the PowerPoint, it's now over 100 clinical studies proving the efficacy of LifeWave phototherapy technologies, and many more studies and products are in the works. Now, LifeWave is a 16-year-old advanced technology company. It was founded back in 2004 based on an energy-enhancing technology developed for Navy SEALs to increase their strength, stamina, and performance without drugs, stimulants, or caffeine. This technology and product was so effective, it's now used by world-class athletes around the world in almost every sport. We now have corporate headquarters and laboratories and manufacturing in California and Ireland. And we have global distribution to 75 plus companies from our 14 global distribution centers. So real briefly, let me talk just about how does this amazing technology actually work. And it's based on a type of light therapy called photobiomodulation. And LifeWave patches contain very specific combinations of organic materials and crystals. When applied or near the body, they're activated by our body heat. They then begin to emit very specific wavelengths of light, which stimulate targeted and beneficial biochemical responses in the body. And this is known as photobiomodulation. And it's the basis of our LifeWave phototherapy patches. Now, it's been a well-recognized and proven scientific principle that specific frequencies of light can cause very specific changes within the body. For example, when you go out in the sun, a specific frequency of light causes our body to make vitamin D. Another frequency of sunlight causes our body to make melanin, the chemical that gives us a suntan. And LifeWave's patented technology is based on the same rock solid scientific principle. For the last 11 years, our focus has been in the area of anti-aging and regenerative science. And back in January 2019, we released to the global marketplace the LifeWave X39 stem cell activation patch. And it truly is a historic and affordable breakthrough in stem cell technology. Some are actually calling it the holy grail of anti-aging and restorative science. And we're actually doing what the multi-billion-dollar companies and big pharma have not been able to do. And that is X39 actually activates this very specific copper peptide that activates our stem cells, while it's also altering gene expression towards a younger and more vibrant you. And yes, we have patents. Yes, we have clinical studies. And yes, we have field results proving that X39 is actually turning back our biological clock, helping people to look, feel, perform, heal, and live younger. And for us baby boomers, this is very exciting news and information. So with that being said, Robin, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and turn it back over to you and our special guest tonight.
Well, thank you, Gregory. I actually really love watching that. And I know everyone in the audience does too. It really gives it in just a few minutes a really beautiful perspective of what we have and why it's so special. So now I get to bring on our special guest tonight, and he's a wonderful guy. I love this guy. I've really enjoyed getting to know him, but his wisdom of understanding what we have here with LifeWave technology and how it integrates in the body's electrical system, because he is an acupuncture physician. And so I want to do things a little differently tonight. Dr. Walt, you okay with that? Come on on. Come on. Let me see you. There he
Can you
is.
see me?
Yeah. There he is.
I watched that video that you had with Serene. Serene, was it her name? That she was giving us a talk about doing videos.
Oh, Sabine. Uh-huh.
Sabine. So I got my backdrop and I sent away for more.
Always growing, always growing. I love it. You're just such a wonderful student. Well, because you started in the allopathic world and then moved over into Chinese medicine when you went over to China, and it just called to you. And so you are an acupuncture physician and you understand the body's energy. And I'd love you to share for those of us that don't know what that means and how, but when you came across these patches, what that meant to you, understanding from your background perspective of how energy works. Could you explain that to us?
Sure. I think I'll add on to what Gregory just went through. That was a brilliant little introduction. But when you study my type of medicine with traditional Chinese medicine, there's theories that we in Chinese medicine that say that we are energy, and now that's all proven, and even with Western. So immediately with the biophotons and henceforth the phototherapy, it became very quickly evident to me that this company was somebody I had to look at and dive deeper into and look at the research, which they have a great number of research papers. Back then, I think it was 2005 when I was introduced to LifeWave. They didn't have X39, but they had, some of the others, especially the one I love that everybody knows is the Energy Enhancer. And the reason I like that is it opens up these fields of energy to flow better in your body. So you need that energy flowing back and forth because we are basically a giant alkaline battery. And through diseases, through what we put in our mouth, what we breathe in the air, because we live in a post-industrial society, we're constantly bombarded. And all those things, even the fears, the worries that we have, can constrict your energy flow. So that's why we have certain points on the body, which are now proven. I think I went through that with one of my talks. We now know that there's corpuscles on the surface of our body, which communicate with our central nervous system, So we have like a superficial nervous system, and we can tap into this and make the energy flow better. Or if there's too much energy, calm it down. So it's the same way with these patches, because scientifically we know this has gone back since the 70s, I think. His name was Fritz Albert Popp. I'm surprised that even came to me. But our cells give off energy. This is well known, and they give off light, over 100,000, impulses, and those impulses are called biophotons. Now, every living thing has this energy, and I want to let you know also that we can tell if your cells are healthy by the type of energy they give off, if they're sick cells, if they're tumor cells, even infectious viruses and bacteria. So I think this is definitely the beginning of the future with energy medicine and frequency medicine, because we now know that if we deliver certain frequencies, we can just, sort of blow up a bad cell, just put it to rest. So it's changing everything. And that's what has happened with our patches, because our patches are a way of communicating. So we're communicating, our patches are communicating to the body's giving off light, and it's a mechanism by which we tell the body we want more stem cell activation. So that's how it's happening. Just like you have fiber optics. What is that? It's just light with information traveling through it. And it's a little bit hard to have people wrap that around their head, but everything is going towards light, energy, and frequency medicine. And that's why I love this.
Well, that was fabulous.
Oh.
And you've got light coming up over your shoulders. It's wonderful.
I'm learning how to do all this stuff, Robin.
You're doing really well, Dr. Walt. Well, that was really helpful for me. I hope it was helpful for other people, because we do have something very special here, and it is the future. Frequency medicine is where we are going, and we seem to be at the cutting edge with our products. So how about sharing a little bit about oh boy, I have so many things I love asking you. But our focus is on X39, and Gregory did go through some of it. But why don't you enhance what he talked about a little bit, and what you're noticing in your practice with your clients and patients?
Well, I notice right off the bat, pain management is a big thing for me, and also insomnia. Those two things, if somebody comes into my practice, I have to handle those first. And in the past, I had to sit them down and do either auricular therapy, which is ear seeding for pain, or take them to the table and do acupuncture. But literally now, I just tape on a patch. I say, take your finger and point to where it hurts. And they point to where it hurts, and I patch them, not on their skin, right on their jeans or right on their clothes. And we talk for about 5 minutes, and then I say, now stand up and walk around. And their mouth drops open and said, what did you just do to me? So I just explained to them new technology. And I had somebody the other day say to me, I'm so glad that you have, what did she say? I'm so glad you have your ear to the pavement, listening to all the new things coming out for us. Because some people, especially the males, I have to admit, when I'd say, okay, we're gonna have to do acupuncture, they're like, oh God, needles, But this has helped me to increase my effectiveness very quickly. And then it's a good time for me to introduce them to become, either a customer. Most of them start with the customer, or also introduce some of the other patches. But I tell them, and I'm sure everybody knows it, drink lots of water. You may go through something that's called a Herxheimer's reaction. It's not a side effect. It's just that the X39 may be, taking away the bad cells, and that's kind of garbage that's going through your cardiovascular system, and you're going to feel a little punky. But I say, if you have to take the patch off, take it off, but put it back on, drink your water, and they're very happy, very happy.
As a practitioner, that must have been so fun when you started sharing the patches with your patients and watching and witnessing. I know That's so, I love hearing about it. And I'm kind of a bit envious that you know so much about the body's electrical system and what's really happening, And I guess some of us, I think maybe I should be more of a student. That would be good.
Well,
Okay, so
all
is,
that information is out there. It's just,
yeah,
I'm a nerd and I read like hell.
I'm not a nerd. Oh, good, I get to just learn from you. Okay, so is there anyone who shouldn't use these patches?
I try to tell people not to use them if you have any kind of, the X39 in particular, organ transplants, those kind of patients. I veer away from that because the immune system is being handled and you don't want to have those stem cells react or go after the new transplant organ. Um, that's really the only person that I've said, we can't use them. I do have transplant patients that come just to get their energy boosted and get their immune system, charged a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, anything else you want to share before we open things up and see if anyone has any questions?
Well, I know everybody knows that I like my energy enhancer, but
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. The Eon now, I love them all, but for me, especially needing my research, when I listened to David talk about the blood work, the urine work that they got back on that lowered inflammatory markers, I love that. And because most Americans today, well, I probably would have to say 100% of Americans today have inflammation in their body. So to see that those things lowered the CRP, homocysteine, and the lipid peroxidase, and some of the others, that was a big one for me. So I am now, telling some of the patients that do come in with severe illnesses, start using Eon at night. Use the 2 during the day and the Eon at night, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. If they can sleep with having the patch on, the X39, that's fine. That's fine also.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like to use Eon um, for sleep because it just balances things out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great
One
time.
thing that this one person that came yesterday, she has a severe DNA type of problem. So she had been using X39 for a while from her mother. And so I told her to go ahead and start using Eon. Normally, I want to see at least a month on the X39 to see what it's doing for the person before jumping to something else. Because we're trained in my medicine, it's not about giving the person 2 or 3, different herbal formulations, or, I start very slowly so we can see what is happening, what's the effect.
Great, 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 great. And that's why we have thousands and thousands of practitioners like yourself,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
involved because it does enhance the clinical outcome. Okay, let's see what we've got here for questions. So reminder to everyone that we don't ever mention disease states. We just talk symptoms. And if you want to share a story, what it was like before, what you did with the patches and now what you're able to do, that just keeps it really simple and compliant. And let's see. First, we had Valerie. She says, "Can you drink warm water throughout the day?"
There's no reason why you can't. And as a matter of fact, I'll give everybody a little pearl of wisdom. One of the first things that I learned in China, in Beijing, the digestive system is very, very important for all humans. You could be eating the best food, but if you are not breaking it down and assimilating it correctly, then you're not getting the best food. So here's a little pearl of wisdom that this alone has had many of my patients call me within 3 to 4 days saying, "Oh my God, my bloating is gone. I feel like I'm having a better bowel movement." When you go to a Chinese restaurant, 9 times out of 10, they ask if you want hot tea. There's a reason for that. The process of digestion is, of course, your acid, your enzymes, and heat has to be at least 98.6. So the minute you drink something cold, the 2 secretors here in your mouth constrict because cold water constricts. And there's an enzyme in your mouth called ptyalin. That's where digestion starts. So when you drink anything cold with your food, your meal, you've already lost. So warm tea with your meal. I sometimes have my meals without any fluid. I just chew really well and swallow. Then if I want water, 30 to 45 minutes later is when you can have your water. But I highly, highly recommend, if you want to drink warm water, drink warm water. If it feels
Great.
good to your system, do it.
I hope everyone got that message because that was one I needed to get. So thank you for that.
Sure.
Yeah, so let's see. Suggestions for nerve problems stemming from the spine affecting the limbs. That's from Wendy.
From Wendy. So once again, Wendy, I don't know the case, but I always would start with the X39 right on the spine, or maybe an inch above the spine, and go from there. The energy enhancer, once again, is going to open up all that energy, hopefully, so you can heal quicker. And then you just go right on down the line. The Eon, that you might want to do a carnosine later on, because our cells in our brain, our liver, everywhere have carnosine. You can even find carnosine in tears when they do research. So I would start that way, Wendy. Start slow with the X39 and then build upon that little by little.
Great. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Sure.
Leslie is asking, where may I find the research if it's archived somewhere already curated? Would you like me to answer that one?
Sure.
Unless you want to.
No, you can answer that.
Well, there's lots of places, but if you just go to lifewave.com and you scroll down, and you'll see a video on the left, and off to the right, you'll find the clinicals, and it's right there. Is there another source you use, Dr. Walt?
I tell my people to go to the pubmed.gov
And do their own research,
and
yes.
do research, because that place has tons of research about everything.
Well, that's the first thing I do with the practitioners, invite them to go research the copper peptide GHK.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, and from that, then more the intrigue happens, as you know.
Right.
Okay, so there's lots of places, but do your own research on the copper peptide, and then the clinicals that are published are on the website. So my Bengali says, my health coach insists that I have to have correct blood glucose ketone ratio to heal. How do you feel about this? And are there any patches that would support this?
Well, I think if you were to use any of the brain patches, the ones especially for hypothalamus, pituitary, the spleen 6, the Alavida, and the Nirvana, that might help you. I don't know any research about ketone to blood sugar balance. I don't know anything about that really to give you any kind of an answer. But the body is an amazing machine. It's an orchestra. If you put too much in it or you try to do too much, the orchestra doesn't sound good. So just be really careful and know that how we were created is very balanced, and you don't want to mess it up too much. That's why in our medicine, we don't give a lot of herbs right away, because herbal formulas are like a multivitamin. One herb has a nutritional profile that will shock everybody. It has minerals and vitamins in it, one herb. So when you combine them, you're having like a mega, vitamin, plus you have all the other things that it can do for you.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Let's see, what is the best protocol for hair loss?
Oh boy. I guess everybody is using the X39, but once again, because you want energy and blood to go all over your body, once again, I'm going to tell you the energy enhancer. And for that, you could put it even on the lung points that are up here, lung 1, and see what happens. But remember, for follicles to start growing, I mean, I've been on my energy enhancer for, I think I'm going on 7 months. But right now, I can tell you that my fingernails are growing very quickly, and my hair is really growing quick. So I know that on a cellular level, it's starting to happen. Now, I do see hairs growing where I don't want them to grow, that kind of a thing. So it is happening. I'm seeing a reversal of the process of aging. And I'm not talking about hair on my ears as a male. We all have that. I'm talking about on my legs even. I'm getting little spirals sticking up and pouncing out, you know? So I would do the X39 and the energy enhancer and start with that.
Okay, great. Great. Okay, we've heard lots of stories. It's pretty fun. It doesn't happen to
Yeah.
everyone. Everyone's different, but it's pretty fun because a lot of people have had some great results with that. So Valencia is asking, do the patches activate previous cancer cells or just your own natural stem cells? She's been asked that question.
Okay, so you're not supposed to have growing tumor cells. That's an aberrant cell that has gone haywire. So our stem cells, once they're activated and you get enough of them in your body, it should take care of any of that type of proliferation or cells that have gone haywire. Because they recognize it, these mother cells will recognize this is not a normal cell, so we have to attack it. The problem comes with aging and what you're putting in your body. Without the X39, you don't have that big of a chance to activate your stem cells. So there is a possibility that's not going to happen immediately. Remember, these stem cells are going to go to where they need to go first, and maybe it is a tumor that they're going to have to run after and go after. So it's not going to help proliferate. They're going to kill it.
Love it.
Attack it.
Well, regenerate those damaged ones for healthy younger ones. Yes.
Yes, that's good.
That's where we're going. Okay. I'm going to take just a few more. There's a whole bunch just popped in, of course. And we don't mention disease states. So if you did mention one, we won't use that question. You can rewrite it. Which patches, if you have a high creatine
Yeah.
level?
So if you're having problems with your creatinine,
Thank you.
and your blood urea nitrogen, which is BUN, that could mean that there's something going on with your kidneys. You're not clearing stuff. So once again, start with the X39. I think one of Dr. Nicholas's other physician friends had something wrong with her kidneys, and she started using the X39, and by the time months went by, she went from being, I don't know, I think it was stage 2 renal failure down to normal. So I would start with the X39, and you should be at least talking to an allopathic practitioner also. I mean, all of you out there, it's wonderful to have both type of physicians, you know, Western and Eastern, or whatever you want, naturopathic. But you should, and I have said to many of the MDs at my hospital, you should have us in your back pocket, because where you leave off, we start up.
That's great. That's such wise advice for all of us. Different parts of medicine have their different gifts. And
That's right.
Yes, so finding the ones, Western medicine does a lot of really good diagnostics.
Very good. And
we learned.
Very good in patching you up, but then we can take over. And now, to be honest with you, I mean, post-surgery, I've already had people come post-surgery because they recognize the ability that we can do with natural medicine. And, you know, just that X39 post-surgery, you know, around the scar area, around the where they had the surgery, it's amazing how quickly they're healing and what their scar looks like week to week. It's amazing.
Love it. Well, everyone, I want to thank you all for being with us. Had to make a little adjustment here. Sorry. So, Dr. Walt, a treat, and I love the new background. Love it. It's very fun. And
thank you
everyone for joining us. And if you're a guest this evening, please get back to the person who invited you. We have wonderful ways to try our products as a customer or as someone that likes to share if you're interested in building an income. The company is growing very fast because we've got something really special, as I think everyone heard. So again, Dr. Walt, love it.
Love it. Thank you.
All right. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.